Hey romance readers, Linda here, coming back at you with another video today. Happy Tuesday. I'm going to do a reader's update today. I have 5 books here. I had to pat myself on the back. I was like, you finished 5 books since last week. You doing good. Because I usually do two books tops, and then I'll be like, dog, that's all I got. It's 2 books to go over, but this time I got 5 books. And first up I have is Maya Banks' Never Seduce a Scot. It's her Montgomery and Armstrong series, and this is on Evelyn Armstrong and Jeremy Montgomery. I hope I'm pronouncing that name right. It's G-R-A-E-M-E. It looked like Jeremy to me, so I'm gonna say Jeremy. And in this book, I'm just gonna give this 3 stars because it started out okay. I mean, it started out good. I was interested in the story and everything, but then when it got through the second part of the book, like when they got married, because they have to get married because the king has decreed for them to get married because the Armstrong and the Montgomerys are feuding, and he said to stop this feud, I want an alliance between the 2 families to cut all this nonsense out. So the Armstrong and the Montgomerys are both upset about this situation, but it's nothing they can do because once the king decrees something, that's it. So him and Jeremy and Evelyn get married, and Evelyn, she can't talk, and she can't hear also, but her family doesn't know she can't hear. They just think something is wrong with her because she had an accident. She fell off a horse, and they think she might have, her brain might be damaged or whatever. But the reason that she didn't tell them that she can't hear is because her family did an alliance with another clan, and she didn't want to marry this guy because this guy was just, he was doing too much. So she didn't want to marry him, so she caught herself running away, and that's when she had her accident and fell off a horse. And I don't know if she hurt her throat because she can't speak, but she never did speak again, because I don't know if she hurt her throat and just couldn't speak right then because she never spoke again. And she also couldn't hear, and like I said, she didn't tell her family, so they think something is wrong with her. So that's why when Jeremy come there, because everybody heard that something is wrong with her, so he thinks something is wrong with her too, but there's really nothing. She just can't hear, and she's taught herself to lip read. So that's why she can understand what they're saying. That's why her family don't know that she can't hear, and she never did tell them, because she tried to tell her father that this guy, he wasn't right, and she didn't want to marry, but his father just thought she was afraid to get married or whatever. So that's why when this accident happened and she just didn't tell him that she couldn't hear, and she just learned to lip read. That threw me off too. I was like, okay, you're just gonna learn to lip read just like that, and nobody's gonna figure anything out what's going on. But I guess they didn't pay her no attention because they thought she had brain damage or whatever. So when they get married, and another thing that threw me off, I understand that they don't got married, but when you want to getting to know each other, or I don't know, it just felt like they just fell into insta love or whatever you want to call it. I don't mind insta love sometimes if it's done right, but this was just too, like, it was just kind of like too quick for me, because all of a sudden she got her voice back, because when you go into a hostile territory, because she was going into a hostile territory, because once they got married, she had to go back with Jeremy to his clan, and nobody liked her. So I guess she got so upset her voice just came back because she was yelling at these women. So she got her voice back, and I just felt that could have been described a little more, of her struggling to talk, because she hadn't talked in so long. Sometimes when I don't know how that would be, because I've never been in that situation, but I would feel like you would struggle to get the language back, and to slowly get into talking more. I don't know, it just seemed like I said, the first part of it I was interested in, and the second part, like when they get married and go back to his clan, it kind of like went downhill there for me. So I'm only going to give this 3 stars. And it's on the Montgomery and it's Maya Banks Montgomery and Armstrong series, and it's Never Seduce a Scot, and I'm just giving it 3 stars. I don't want to read that again. It wasn't for me. And next I have Striking Distance, and this is Pamela Clare. I finally finished this off, and I'm gonna give this 3.5 stars because I was interested in the story. It was a good premise. It's on Laura Nielsen and Javier Corbray, and he's a Navy SEAL, and she's like a reporter, one of those roving reporters that always going overseas and in dangerous territories trying to get the story, and she gets kidnapped, and it's all about her trying to recover from her kidnapping and all that was done to her. And so when she do get rescued, but it's just her trying to cope with this situation, and also she's been threatened. So her and Javier meets this before she get kidnapped or anything. They just happen to meet at overseas, and they happen to strike up a conversation, and yeah, stuff leads from there. But they still go their separate ways, and cause they just said, you know, like, we just gonna do this, just gonna be like I guess they didn't want no relationship. They just were gonna have fun while they were together. But they still had like feelings for each other. So both of them were thinking about getting in touch with each other when they get back to the States. But that's when she got kidnapped, and he thought she was dead because the kidnappers had told everyone that she was dead, but she really wasn't. And she get rescued, and her and Javier meet again, and it goes from there. And also, she, like I said, she's been threatened. Her life has been threatened, and it's go from there. I couldn't really get into Laura and Javier. I don't know why, but I did like the story. I was interested in the story because I wanted to know who was threatening her life, because I'm not gonna go into all that. I did, well, the person you think could threaten her life is really not. But I'm not going to get into all that. If you want to read it out, I don't want to spoil it for you. But it's Striking Distance, Pamela Clare, 3.5. I'm going to give this 3.5 stars because I really did enjoy the story. It's just that I just needed more from the main characters. I don't know. I just was missing something from there. And like I said, when I finish this, it's not nothing I want to go back like, wow, this was an exciting story. I would want to read this again. No, this is not one I would want to read again. But I'll recommend it for the story. It was an interesting story. It's Pamela Clare, Striking Distance. And like I said, I give it 3.5 stars. Next, I have Tessa Dare. I don't know if I had said I was this in part of my books I wanted to read. I don't know. But I had this laying on my desk. I was like, let me read this right here. And this is the Duchess deal. And this is Girl Meets Duke series. And I really, really enjoyed this one. I give this 4 stars. And this is on the Duke of Ashby. They call him Ash. Well, Emma called him Ash. And the main female character, her name is Emma Gladstone. She's a vicar daughter. And also she's a seamstress. And the way she meet Ashbury is that he was engaged, and but his engagement got called off because he used to be in the military, and he got hurt, and like I think it's the left or right, I don't know which side it is, but he got burnt real bad on one side of his face and down on his shoulder and chest. And so his fiance, yeah, she didn't want to marry him or whatever. So the wedding got called, anyway, the way it went, the wedding got called off. But Emma, like I said, she's a seamstress, and she had made this wedding dress, and she needed her money because the lady never picked up the wedding dress and never paid Emma. So Emma shows up at his house saying that, you know, she need to get paid for this wedding dress, and that's how they meet. And he wants to get married, but like I said, he's burnt real bad, and I guess he feel like, you know, he can't get a woman to marry because they're going to be scared because they call him the beast or whatever. They scared of him. And so he needs to get married. So he make a deal with Emma. But she don't believe him at first. But he follow her back to where she works at. And he tell her he's for real. He needs to get married. And so it goes from there. I like their back and forth. I like their banter. The way Tessa wrote the dialogue. For me, it's the dialogue. I don't like a lot of description. Like this had a lot of description in it of what was going on or whatever. I just like I like the dialogue between the two main characters. That makes the story go really quick for me because this story was going kind of slow. Yeah. But I like the dialogue in here. I just, and that way you get to know the characters better when you have like a lot of dialogue and stuff. And I really, really enjoyed this. I'm going to buy the next book. I think this is book 1 in the series. I'm going to go and buy the next book in the series. I don't know what's it called. I have to go look it up. But I think it's out. I can't remember what the name of it is. See, I done stamped very good in here. I don't know what the name of the... I saw it on Amazon, the second book. So I'm going to get the second book. Because I really, really enjoyed this. I'm going to give it 4 stars. And the reason I give it 4 stars and I didn't give it 4.5 stars or 5 stars, it's just some parts in here was just like iffy for me. Like a scene where they had come in out of the rain, and instead of going back to the house, they were closer to like this hotel or tavern or whatever. So he got a room there. And she get cold easily. I'm not going to explain why. So, you know, he stripped her down and... Cause looked like I read he to help her took off all her clothes and they laid on the bed and he was just trying to keep her warm and stuff. But the next morning someone knocks on the door and it's this guy he know, and he come into the room, and it didn't even say that if she tried to cover herself up or, you know, with sheets or what. I don't know. Maybe I skipped over that part. Maybe I just didn't read it right. I don't know. But looked like something was missing there, and I was like, what happened here? It was little things like that I was like, okay. But like I said, I still enjoyed the book. I'm going to give it 4 stars. I'll recommend it. I highly recommend it because I really, really enjoyed the story. Good story. Like I said, I enjoyed the banter between the 2 main characters. Next, I have The Simple Wow by K.A. Tucker. I enjoyed this one too. I'm going to give this 4.5 stars. This is about Calla Fletcher and Jonah. I don't even know what his last name is. I don't even remember what his last name was. But this book right here, yeah, I shedded a few tears at the end. Because this is about her going to visit her dad because her dad is sick. Her mom and dad got divorced when she was little, and her mom has remarried, and they live in where do they stay at? I forgot. Is it some part of Canada? I think. Well, anyway, this lady calls Calla and let her know that her dad is sick. So, and her dad living in Alaska. He's a bush pilot. And so she goes, and she haven't seen him since she was little. And she's harboring some feelings, some kind of way about him. So, but she goes because he's really sick. And that's where she meets Jonah. He also worked for her dad, and he's a bush pilot too. And it's all about her reconnecting with her dad and just learn all about his life and his business. And yeah, it was a tearjerker at the end, people. I needed a couple of tissues because I was I'm a very emotional person. I was like, I can't. And so I give this 4.5 stars. I really, really enjoyed it. I highly recommend it. It's The Simple Wow by K.A. Tucker. I really enjoyed that one. And the last book I have is Keep Her Safe by K.A. Tucker. I gave this 3.5 stars. And this is with Noah Marshall and Gracie Richard. And Gracie is biracial. Her dad is African American, and her mother is was white. And it's all about her and Noah trying to find out what happened to her dad, because Noah mother and her dad were cops together, and they were best friends. It started out best friends, but some along the way happened, and yeah, they weren't talking to each other in the end. And her dad get killed on the force, and he's considered they said that he was a bad cop because when they found him, it was some drugs laying around, and his reputation got ruined. And her mom had to leave town because it was so bad, and her mom had also got threatened. So it's about Noah's mother. I don't want to go into it and spoil it for anyone, but yeah, it's just about her and Noah trying to find out what really happened to her dad. And the reason I give this 3.5 stars, for some reason I kept imagining them as teenagers, but they weren't teenagers. Both of them was in their 20s because he worked for his uncle at the DA's office, and she and her mom are they living in a trailer park, and they're having a hard time. But for some reason, I don't know if the characters weren't really described to me. I don't know. It was just something that was off. for me in this book. But I enjoyed the story, so I'm gonna give it 3.5 stars because the story was good. I wanted to know what happened to her father and like all that. Because really her father wasn't a bad cop, so it was just them trying to prove his innocence. So I give this 3.5 stars because yeah, it was just some stuff in here that I was like, what? Okay. So I'm gonna give this 3.5 stars, and this keep her safe, and I will recommend it because I did enjoy the story. It just was the two main characters, yeah, they didn't do it for me too much, and it was more on trying to, it wasn't really like a romance. They did have a, you know, they did get together, but it wasn't really, it was more dealing with them trying to find out what was going on with about her, what happened to her dad and stuff like that. And so I just give this 3.5 stars. And if you saw my other video, you all know out there know I was looking for the Idris Elba People magazine. I finally found it. Was it Saturday? I went to Books A Million to look for it, and they didn't even have it. I was like, what? Aren't y'all supposed to have everything up in here? She was like, no, we on the lady I spoke to, they only like, we only have like I guess they only like keep it for a couple of weeks or whatever, and then they switch it out. I thought People magazine like only came out like once a month, but they have like 2 magazines coming out in a month, because the People magazine that they had in there was on Michelle, it had Michelle Obama on the cover, and I was so upset. I was like, what? It must not be meant to happen for me to get this magazine. And so when I came out, my sister, she had went in another store, and she was like, did you find it? I was like, no. No, I did not find it. But, and I was so upset. I was like, it's not meant to happen. She was like, well, let's go to Target and see. I was like, I'm not going to another store because I'm just disappointed right now. And I don't want to go to another store and be disappointed again, really. So I was like, forget about it. It wasn't meant to happen. I was like, I didn't need it no way, because it'd probably just be another book laying around here that I don't need. So I was like, forget about it. So we just started going. We was on our way back home, and I just kept thinking about it. So once we got closer to home, I also have a Target, because we had went to Mount Juliet, Tennessee. So when I was on my way back to Nashville, and I was like, okay, I'm going to stop. After I got closer to home, we got a Target close to where I stay at. I was like, I'm just going to go into this Target. I was like, okay, I'm going to go in this Target and see whether I'm going to be disappointed or not. So I went in that Target, and lo and behold, I found it. Hooray! I was like, yes! And I got it. Yeah. Look at that. Don't he look good? Yes. Sexiest Man Alive, Idris Elba. So I got to go through here and read the see who else they got up in here, because they usually put a bunch of guys up in here that they consider sexy. Yeah, here we go. We got, I don't know who this is. Oh, this is Joe Jonas. And got Seth Meyers up in here. Who else they got up in here? I don't know this guy right here. Bruce Bruzzy. I don't know him. Oh, they got Usher up in here. So I got to go through here and look and see who else they got up in here. But I am so happy I found it. And I was also looking for, what's the book is? Entertainment Weekly. Sorry about that. My camera went out. The Entertainment Weekly with Jon Snow and Khaleesi on it. But yeah, I'm not going to find that. I'm way behind on that. When she said that one was when I asked her about that, the Entertainment Weekly ad, when I was in Books A Million, I asked the lady about that. She said, yeah, that's been gone. So if I want that, I probably have to go on eBay or something and order that. But I'll just wait till next year. I'm sure they're going to have other books with them on the cover, because I think April is when Game of Thrones is supposed to come back out. So I'm sure the TV Guide and all that stuff will have it, and I'll be able to get something with them on it. But I'm just glad I got to get this right here. Sexiest Man Alive, Idris Elba. Yes. So that's all I have for on my books that I read, and I'll show you the ones that I'm going to read next. I pulled this, I got off my TBR and went and pulled this. I saw this. I had another book laying on my dresser. I saw, where did this come from? I was cleaning my room up and I saw this. Yeah, so I was like, let me start reading this. It's Flash of Fury by Leah Griffith, and this is romantic suspense. And I have Elizabeth Hope, I hope I'm pronouncing her last name right. Duke of Desire, a Maiden Lane novel. I'm going to read Beth Carey, Glimmer. And this is a contemporary. I got, these two are from the romance book reveal book boxes. I always try to throw a couple of books in there to read. Use Me by Kimberly Knight. I've already started this, and it's going pretty good. I'm liking it. And then I also got Unconscious Heart by Harper Sloan. I also started reading some of this here. I don't know about this right here. Yeah. I started, yeah, it's already doing, these characters already doing stuff. I'm like, really? Okay. So I'm going to try to finish this. I'm going to try to finish all, how many I got here? All 5 of these because I'll be off until next Wednesday. So I should read this and a couple of more. Because like I said, I'm going to be off until next Wednesday. So hopefully I'll get through these. And hopefully when I come back and do another reader update, I might have, how many of this? 3, 4, 5. Hopefully I can finish 10 books since I'm going to be off until next Wednesday. I'm going to keep my fingers crossed. Yeah. Well, that's all I got for now. Until next time, I'll see you later and keep reading those romances. Bye. Have a good evening.